And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of El Dorado, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing himself, currently teamless. It is Creator. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the red Protoss player representing Gen G Esports. It is Trap. The wing commander himself. Here we go. Just catching up in the chat, the recall was sus. Yeah, as we did mention, the recall was the pivotal moment where if it wasn't for that recall, I don't think Shin would have saved his bases, and we would have embraced a proper base trade, with Shin losing base after base, and Shin relying on his Ling Muta across the map to likewise kill bases as well. I do think that I'm not opposed to recalling, but I do think that maybe Hero recalled too prematurely. I think he should have focused on breaking the main army first and then recalling, right? And maybe like killing one base initially, then recalling and then defending, and then, you know, having a bit of a different game state. But it is always difficult to gauge that situation. As I mentioned, I'm pretty sure Hero just assumed that the army that he had left across the map would have been enough. I'm sure he just assumed that would have been enough to break the third. I'm sure that he's surprised that he didn't. And again, it was impressive. It was very impressive that Shin was able to save that third base and actually take down those immortals when he did. It wasn't easy. If you remember, like Hero, he was microing his heart out. He was of course juggling those immortals very well for a time until he couldn't, right? Until he wasn't. So a very intense moment there. Regardless, we're now going to be settling in. And we do have our initial gate expand setups here. Something that I should mention, of course, when it comes to some of these maps, is that if we have a map with a ramp coming into the natural, it is a much more defendable map, which means gate expand into Cybercore. Trap is able to get his own Nexus up and running. It was a gate expand out of Trap, so a very greedy build here by the red Protoss. How could Trap afford such a fast Nexus? One gas. It was a single gas opener out of Trap, which meant that, of course, he did make less workers, didn't invest into the gas geyser, did squeeze out an early Nexus, and now Creator has to make a choice. What does he do here? Does he try to punish the greed and go for an all-in, or does he play from behind? Oh, as we pylon block! The pylon block is brutal. Creator, he had to make a Zealot, he had to throw down the second gas geyser, he had to tech and throw down the Stargate as well. Creator has yet to expand, and the pressure is on Creator. The pressure is on. Takes down the probe, and he does expand. Okay. No one base all in. No one base all in from Creator, but there is a lot of pressure on Creator to get some damage done because the natural of Trap is already done. It's already complete. Trap, he's making 2 probes at a time. Creator, only 1. Only 1 probe at a time. The Oracle's moving out, and this Oracle, it needs to get economic damage. That is the one advantage that Creator has here, is the Stargate opener into the Oracle harass. And Trap, he scattered. If you remember, with the probe, he did see the Stargate, so he knows. He knows what's coming. Back at home, what do we have? Shield Battery. Shield Battery in the main base, that's going to be enough to out-heal the DPS output of a single Oracle. Not of 2, but of 1. And the first Oracle moves out. Second Oracle's on the way. As you mentioned, 2 Oracles, they one-shot workers, so a Shield Battery will not be enough to defend. At least when the second Oracle arrives. As it does get eyes on the saturation, does get eyes on the tech of choice. Going to be a Twilight Council opener. Oracle gets 1 probe. Not bad. Gets 1 worker. Before pulling away. And here comes that second Oracle. And now that we have 2, suddenly the main base is going to be a little bit more vulnerable. It's up to Trap here to keep up. So far, he does split off. He does have 2 Stalkers and a Sentry at the natural. And he has 1 Stalker in the main. Oh, the hallucination. Let's go. Hallucinates a couple of Stalkers. Trying to scare Creator. As Creator, he dips in. And he does get a probe. Gets 1 and gets 2. Doesn't quite get the 3rd, though. He respects the army. He backs off. With the revelation, he sees the fake Stalkers. But nice damage nonetheless. It's okay. Getting 2 probes. It's something. Trap is still ahead, though. Trap is still ahead. Both players taking into Blink. So both players working on Blink Stalkers. And Trap, he's mining through those gold minerals. He's expanding towards the south instead. A Creator, he has not worked on that. So Trap going to be expanding towards the south, and I would imagine Creator expanding towards the north instead. Yeah. So both players expanding in different directions. We do have a proxy Dark. Okay, let's go. I mean, when behind, right? When behind Dark Shrine. Bold move here by Creator. Now, as a heads up, in PvP, it is not uncommon for a Protoss player to delay their robo in favor of a third base. And I'm sure that is what Creator is hoping. Creator, I mean, he's scouting, he's checking. So far, there's no Stargate, there's no robo, there is zero detection, but there it is. The robo has now been placed after the third base. It is a later robo, that is true, but I think it's still going to be okay. It's going to be close. Dark Shrine is halfway done, bearing in mind that you have to go for slow DT warp-ins here on the top side of the map as well. It's going to take a while for them to get across, which means there should be an observer. So I believe this should be nicely timed for Trap. If he moves out with the observer, I mean, he's going to be in trouble, but we'll see. We shall see. As so far he's scouting, he's checking. Doesn't get eyes on the proxy, but he will get eyes on the third. So Trap now knows there's no crazy 2-base all in. And there's the first observer. So there is detection. DTs, they should not end the game, but they can still cripple the economy. As I mentioned, if this observer is rallied across the map, and it is, and if it's out of position, then he could be in trouble. As I say that, though, the observer is actually rallied to the army, so it's relatively close by. It can always turn back around, or even recall if need be. Oracles, they threaten the main. Creator pushing in towards that natural. DTs, they waddle in as well. And the observer, so far, is out in the open. DTs, they getting in. Probes are going to go down. There we go, we have a DT in the natural, DT in the main as well. Main army does push in towards a third, and Trap is being pulled apart. Probes are going down. 5 probes so far. And again, they one-shot probes. Even with the shield battery, it does not matter. 10 probe kills. Not a bad start. 12, 13. Not quite 14. Not quite 14, but still good damage. 13 probe kills does allow Creator to catch back up and take a lead. Up until this point, Creator, who was behind economically, now takes the lead, getting a 4th base as well, so is Trap. Both players expanding. And Creator, I mean, the first wave of Dark Templar were good, and now he's doubling down. We have Blink on the way for the DTs as well. Shadow Stride is being researched. Trap moves out. We have a field of stasis traps set up. Oh my, that's 5. 5 stasis traps. He's crazy. Snipes the observer. Observer goes down. Very nice catch. I believe that was the second observer. There we go. The first one's back at home. So there is still detection, and we have a backup observer on the way. Creator poking in. More Dark Templar. It's still a very tense moment here. This Creator's taking advantage of his economy, building up more Stalkers. His own robo is heavily delayed, so we do see that Trap, he's going to be trying to replenish his army with Immortals instead. That does make up for a lower Stalker count. So Immortal production has begun for Trap, likewise Charge into +2. The Dark Templar, they're slowly building up over time. That's a lot of DTs. The main armies do clash. Trap does have the slight Stalker advantage. We see Creator trying to bait the army into a stasis. And thankfully there is an observer that's left back at home here at the entrance towards the natural. But that's still a lot of DTs. Trap, he does scout the Dark Shrine. He is aware. Bay is on the way for Creator. So Creator, his robo was very delayed, and his tech has been delayed, but he's going to be rushing into Disruptors. So Stalker straight into Disruptor here for Creator. Meanwhile, I believe Trap going for a much more standard approach. Getting to Immortals. Nice sniping on the first Oracle. First Oracle goes down. Creator, he can't engage his head on. Not into 2 Immortals. Yeah, he does have to back up. Oh, he's running out of stasis traps. He once had 5, now he's down to 2. Meanwhile, DTs, they dive into the mineral line. Probes are getting, oh my god, they're getting eviscerated. They force a recall. Army recalls back home, the Observer as well. Likewise, DTs, they recall back. The recall on recall. Let's go. 9 probes, not bad. Creator still maintaining a very healthy economic advantage. And Disruptor production has begun. Disruptors are on the way. And they're very hit and miss. In more ways than one. They're Disruptors, they can be amazing or they can kill you. They can be your downfall, what I should say. As Stasis Traps, they are running out. They're not available, not anymore. Just in time for the push. And Trappy's committed. He has a massive wave of Zealots. And where are the Disruptors? They need to connect. First Nova goes up. Ooh, does not connect. Nice dive there from Trap. Snipes reverse Disruptor. And Creator is being caught with his pants down. Creator, he might have had the economic lead for the second half of this game. And he was taking Disruptors, but it might just be too late. Nova goes off. Massive connection. But the Zealots are wreaking havoc. They get into the army. Archon's now morphing in for Creator. Those used to be Dark Templar. But Trappy's going for the kill. He's going for the natural. He's came for the production. Okay, one more Disruptor does arrive. Nova goes up. Up. It's easy connection. He gets one sentry. And almost takes down the Immortal as well. See Trap getting cornered. Another Nova going off. Oh my god, another good connection. Takes down an Immortal. But is it enough? Trap's reinforcements are delayed. Takes down one of the Robos. We see Creator just be trying to make some Immortals. But Trappy's so close to breaking that natural. But the Novas, they're building up. And Nova goes off. There's one Nova left. Likewise going for the Immortal. Takes out some Zealots. And you can see that Trappy's running out of steam. He's running out of army. As he's bleeding out more Stalkers, more Zealots, pushing to shield batteries. And Creator holds. Creator, he does hold. Trap does have the gold. I mean, that's how he's able to afford all these Zealots. Going for another gold base as well. Greedy moves here out of Trap. Making up for a lower probe count. With those gold bases. Still just trying to break a Creator here and now. And he's close. But now there's 2 Disruptors. And now there's 2 Disruptors. Now there's additional Novas. And brutal connections here on the Immortal. Immortal goes down. Likewise, Trap getting into the mineral line. Picking off some probes. Trying to engage with the main army. But so far unable to. Trying to get on top of the Immortals. Sorry, on top of the Immortals as well. And we'll take down the expansion. Not bad. Nexus goes down. Nexus falls, but alas, Novas are going off, and it looks like Creator, he breaks out. He breaks free. May have lost an expansion, but it doesn't matter because he will break the army. Snipes the War Prism. There are DTs involved as well. And he can just keep pushing. He can just keep pushing. Again, the power of the Disruptors. They did gain value over time. Took a while. It was very close. Like Creator, who was almost broken here and now at the natural. It was very close fight here at the natural base. But Trap barely did not have enough. I mean, so important that this Robo stayed powered as well. Like, it was able to survive. Able to stay powered with all the additional pylons. Like, if that Robo was a little bit more exposed, we could have seen a very different outcome here. Creator is 9 mining here at the gold. Trap trying to go for a counterattack of some kind. At least has a backup gold base. True. But what he can mainly afford is Zealots. Sniping the Cybercore. Creator just pulling Trap apart. You see Trap trying to come in from behind, but there's just such a large army discrepancy here. Just the surround doesn't even matter. Creator's army is just terrifying. Nova's going off, Zealots are coming from behind. We have DTs to defend from Creator, and GG gets called. Creator, he will take game number 1. GG. GG, well played. It was initially a rough start for Creator, but hey, the DTs. When behind Dark Shrine, the DTs, they popped off. They killed so many workers over the course of that game. Initially 10, and then when it came to the blink timing with those DTs, they killed another 8, I want to say. So like around 18 workers going down in total. Did force a big commitment out of Trap. He did take the gold bases, and he was borderline all in, pushing in towards the natural. And it was quite a successful move out. Like again, Trap, he almost broke Creator then and there, but barely not. Barely not. The disruptors, they did pay off over time, and GG. GG, well played. Creator, he holds, takes a lead. Does take a lead in the series, and we'll see if he can extend that lead, or if we'll see if he can take the series, or if Trap can bounce back and force the ace match. As we're getting into game number 2. Let's go. Here we go. So we're getting into our next matchup and spawning into our next game and spawning into the bottom right hand corner of Whispers of Gold. We have the now blue Protoss player representing Gen G Esports down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back. It is Trap. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Protoss player. The red Protoss leading the series 1-0. It is Creator. We go. Yeah, that Dark Shrine really did pay off so well for Creator multiple times throughout the course of that game. Likewise, even able to make use of it in the defense when he was morphing in those Archons from those DTs. So Creator able to bounce back. And now we're going to be settling into a much smaller map instead. Welcome one and all to Whispers of Gold. As a reminder, this is Trap's map of choice, and because of the map itself, this time we should not be seeing economic openers. As a reminder, we had a ramp coming into the natural in El Dorado. That means we have these more greedy builds. This time, 2 gates. We should be seeing 2 gate openers all around. Trap, he does bypass a scouting probe with his own worker, and he is setting up for a pylon, potentially a 1 base all in. Oh boy, you have my attention. This is a very common location for a proxy robo. So, I mean, again, if you want to go for a proxy all-in, Whispers of Gold is the ideal map for it. Show us what you got. Show us what you got. As so far, Creator, he's scouting for the second pylon. His own is in his main, and he does confirm that the second pylon of Trap is missing. Has been thrown down, and this looks like a proxy robo location for a 1 base all-in. Technically, this could be a Stargate location for a more economic build instead, but I'm leaning towards the robo. The Stargate could be placed a little bit closer to the edge of the map. As Cybercore is now about to finish, and we have our tech of choice. Yep, robo 1 base all-in. Let's go! So Trap, he's had enough. He's like, screw these economic builds. Okay, we're done with the mid game. No, not anymore. None of this 2, 3, 4 base saturation. It's all or nothing on 1 base instead. Now again, Creator, he doesn't know that there's an all-in, but he does know that the pylon is missing. And that is a sign. It could be a very real proxy, which it is, or it could be a fake proxy. So it's on Creator to try to piece it together. As, oh, he is expanding. Uh-oh. 2 gate opener into Nexus. This is ideal for Trap. This is the ideal scenario. The ideal situation. You can see Creator, he's scouting on the right-hand side, looking for the proxy. Alas, he will not find it. Back at home, it's going to be a triple sentry opener. Safety, shield battery. Immortal production has begun. Backup shield battery on the way in the main. So you can see Creator, he's getting ready for proxy Stargate. That's what this is for. This is to defend against an Oracle. So a bit of a misread here from Creator. He's trying to piece it together. So he's getting ready for Stargate play. The hallucination will barely miss the proxy as well. Oof. And can he check the regular Stargate location as well? Trying to figure it out. He will eventually confirm. No Nexus. No Nexus. 1 base all in. Now he knows. Now he is aware. Shield battery did complete. Gateway across the map. And here comes the army. Here comes Trap. Will threaten the shade. Does threaten the shade. Building up more gateways. War Prism has arrived, which means Trap, he has micro potential. Oh, shades into the main. Uh-oh. Shades into main base. That should not have happened. Any one-shot probes. Yeah, two up say one-shot workers. 2 probes already going to be going down. Likewise, the rest of the army does actually juggle into the main. You can see Creator just trying to keep up. So far, zoning the army away. The force field. You can see Creator is just trapped, locked into his own main. Probes are going down. Forced to recall. Yeah, recalls to the low ground. Has his own immortal. He will save it. But we have another. We have another force field. Creator is just being pulled apart left and right. He just cannot keep up. At the same time, no major damage yet. He has lost 5 probes. A nice energy overcharge. Saving the adepts. Takes down one of the sentries. Gets one and up. He wants the other. Barely doesn't get it. He zones the army away. Creator, he's holding. He's holding on. The longer this goes on, the longer this goes on, the better it is for Creator. He just needs a little bit more time. And again, it's impressive that he hasn't taken too many losses. Pulls back the sentry. Getting on top of the immortals. Not quite. Yeah, the immortals, they've got to be respected. They hold their own. Nice control here at a trap. Saves at least the immortals, but he hasn't been able to really build up much of a supportive army. There we go. Extra warp in. Extra force fields. Creator, he's ready for this. He has 2 shield batteries. Oh, the force field does not look him down. He slips away. Yes, some misplaced force fields. They did not catch the immortal. They will catch the second immortal, though. No, barely not. Prism comes in, and now Creator, he can micro. He can control, and he will shut this down. He will shut this down completely. Very impressive defense. The opener was ideal for trap, but despite that, Creator, he bought so much time. With all the shield batteries, with the positional play as well. One immortal goes down. Oh my god. Creator, he does lose 1 immortal. That should not have happened. But again, Creator, he's got his natural up and running. He has saturation. Oof. Going for the army. Zoning back the Prism. And Trap just doesn't have enough momentum. Not anymore. I mean, sure, he has a fresh immortal. But the rest of the army is battered and bruised. It's barely hanging on. I mean, he can still pop up with 4 immortals. True. I mean, we've seen that before. There's no wall. No wall off at Epsay Shade into the main. They commit. Once again, Creator forced to split. Forced to respond. Losing a lot of workers. 3 probes going down so far. Trap, he does shade out. Not too many losses, actually. Only 3 probes. Creator, he still maintains an economic lead. Bearing in mind, Trap, he's soon to be oversaturated as he's soon to be running out of minerals in the main. As still, though, looking quite healthy. Pushing into the natural. Again, force fields a zone away most of those immortals. Even though we have 5 immortals here for Trap, most of them, they weren't attacking. Most of them, they were behind the wall. I mean, that's the power of the force field. To zone away most of the army, to make sure that most of it just isn't really adding any DPS. Once again, shading into the main. You see Trap trying to elevate her in. It does dive in. Trying to focus on these immortals, but the pickup micro here from Creator is on point. Yeah, save the immortals. Does focus on the adepts. Going for the warp in into the main base of Creator. Let's go. Meanwhile, the ground army does collapse on top of the main force. Takes down 1 immortal. Gets 1. Almost the other. Almost. And Creator, he dives in. He goes for the dive. A very chaotic fight, but he will come out on top. As there was once 5 immortals, now down to 3. Oh god. Oh god. Get out of here. Down to 2. 2 immortals left. And Creator, he chases this all the way back to the proxy. Yeah, will depower. Desperation move here out of Trap. Just avoids the army, goes straight for the mineral lines. Doing what he can. Oh, there's only so much he can do. I mean, the Adepts are doing well for themselves, but GG gets called. He runs out his steam, and Creator, he will take the series 2-0. He will survive the all-in and advance on to the semifinals. GG. GG, well played. Very intense final game there between those two players. Again, everything was lining up for Trap. He was doing well. He hid the all-in. Creator, he had gone for a more economic build. He had, of course, misread and initially went for the shield batteries in the main as well. But those shield batteries in the main base, they actually came into play, right? We mentioned it at the time, but they were designed to defend against a proxy Oracle. But alas, Trap did actually initially try to push into the main. He tried to elevate her into the main base. The shield batteries did help out, and again, it was so important that Creator, he was able to keep up with the rotations. There were some really strong moments of Trap where he was able to outposition Creator and force field the ramp. Despite that, Creator, he had pre-split his army, and he wasn't taking any major losses. His production was left safe and sound. He was able to build up his immortals, and a big crucial moment, of course, was when Creator was able to buy enough time for his own War Prism. When his own War Prism arrived, I mean, that's when Creator was looking very comfortable. He was able to save his own units. He was able to micro himself, of course, and have that counter control against Trap. GG. GG, well played. A very impressive defense. And with that, Creator does advance on to face off against Shin in the semifinals. GG. GG, well played. As Creator does advance on. But, of course, we have the lower half of the bracket to focus on. As we do quickly switch our scenes over. Again, we are halfway through the quarterfinals. Shin was able to take down Hero earlier. I should also emphasize that Shin was able to take down Young Yakov as well. Again, some big wins so far here by Shin. Now he's up against Creator in those semis as Creator takes down Trap, but we still have 2 other matches to get into first. We have to wrap up the quarterfinals. It's going to be Classic versus Trigger and Rogue versus Oliveira. Oh boy, still more matches to come. I do look forward to featuring at least one Terran. Let's go. When it comes to OlimoLeague, specifically these weeks as well, you know, Funada, the admin seeding the event, not gonna lie, but a lot of the Terrans have been taking each other out. Mara, of course, doesn't play in OlimoLeague, but I want to say for the past couple of weeks, Kira and Beyond, they just keep facing off early on in the tournament, and they just keep knocking each other out. So they just have not been able to perform or been able to get deep runs in this event. Oliveira has though, and Oliveira is very much so in form. We have been catching up with Oliveira in the podcast, and we've been seeing his results in a lot of these show matches, and Oliveira has been a beast as of late. So I look forward to casting some Oliveira after the PvP. Some people are asking earlier, yo, where is Trigger? Trigger is here. He's up against Classic in another Protoss vs Protoss match. Let's go.